Hey friends, it's Andrea here from Crafter Support. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I want to share with you a really cute holder for Post-it notes. These will make great gifts for teachers, for people in the office. They're so adorable. I made this one for my daughter actually because she is doing schooling right now and she loves Post-it notes, and she does Bible journaling and things like that. So I made this one for her. I just used one of the cutouts that I made the other day and I put some what these are called, sequins on here, a sticker. I made a pretty bow, and I'm going to walk you through how to make this super easy. Now I did make a larger one. I just stamped thankful at the top and made this more of a fall one. This is just a piece of paper that I cut to fit. You could easily stamp on here or put a sticker label across here that says, like happy fall or thankful for you or something like that. And then I just decorated it up a bit. But here are the Post-it notes inside. Here's the back, and this is just a larger size. If you want the dimensions for this one, let me know. So I'm going to put those aside over here and we're going to get started making our Christmas one. So I wanted to make all different ones for different holidays, and I just decided that we should make one for each something. So we are going to be using our Creative Memories envelope punch board. Just to let you guys know, as a disclaimer, I am a Creative Memories advisor, but I use all different product. I'm not just strictly Creative Memories. I mainly use their tools. I love their tools. So I am using that, my trimmer, and this really handy dandy little scoreboard that I got at Hobby Lobby for $7.99. I love it, guys. I actually, whenever I was making this project, I wanted to be able to use this. So I was looking for something that I could use for this size, and it ended up working out. Okay, I just lost this off of the bottom of something. Let me find out what that was. Right here. It's a little sticky tab. Put that back on. All right. So what we need are 3 pieces of paper. So we're going to have our base, the piece that's going to cover our sticky note so that it all ties in together, and our decorative paper to decorate. And then I have embellishments and things off to the side that we can use. So let's get started by cutting our paper to the correct sizes. Remove all of this out of the way. So the first thing I did was I made myself a template. I do this all the time just so that I have the sizes that I know I'm going to need. So I know I need to cut it at 6.5 by 3 for the smaller ones. I am using 110-pound cardstock. This is just from Hobby Lobby, and we're going to cut it at 3 inches wide. Then we're going to cut it at, I'm going to open my arm here, and then we're going to cut it at 6.5. Okay. And now we're going to score. We have to score, but we're going to go ahead and cut our other pieces as well, just because I want to make sure I have all my cutting done so I can put my trimmer away. All right. So the next thing we need is a piece that's 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. So because we do have directional paper, we need to make sure that we're cutting it correctly. So we want on this piece down here, with it's going to flip up, we want to make sure that it's facing the right direction. So we need it at 2 3/4. And you could easily line it up if you wanted a certain part of the paper to be like centered, you could do that at this point. So 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. So we're just going to find our 2 1/4 mark. I love how Creative Memories lines up their cutting pieces. See, I cut the top of this house off, and I could have had it so that the house directly fit in, but it's okay because we're going to be embellishing this, so it's still going to look nice. All right, and then we need a piece that's 2 3/4 by 3. So we have our 2 3/4 because we just cut that, and now we're going to line it up and cut it at 3. So there are all of our pieces. Let me make room over here to put that. Move my embellishments a bit. Okay. So I'm just going to lay these over here. I don't need those anymore. And here we're going to score. So what I've done is I've marked off here that I need to score it at 2.5 and at 2 7/8. So we're going to take our scoreboard here and we're going to find the 2.5 mark. So that's right here. Being that this is 110-pound cardstock, I do go over it a few times just because it's very thick cardstock. And then we're going to go 2 7/8. There we go. And then we're going to just score, like burnish our score lines. This actually is a very good bone folder too. I know I told you guys to run to Hobby Lobby and get this bone folder because it works wonderfully. But if you're using the envelope punch board, this is also an envelope board, just so you guys know. If you don't have an envelope punch board, this has an envelope scoring piece here. But this mainly, I use it for the scoreboard because I have my envelope punch board. But this scores really, really well too. All right, so we're going to do that. And next we're going to need our punch board. And what we're going to do is we're going to line up, I want you guys to be able to see this, the very edge of our paper with the tallest piece. We're going to line it up the very edge of the paper right with this little piece that kind of like ticks out. It like sticks out of the plastic, and we're going to punch. Then we're going to move it over to where this angle lines up with the edge of the punch board, and we're going to punch again. And that gives us our little tab, which looks really cute. You could round the corners if you wanted to, but I didn't like the look of that, so I'm not going to round the corners. Okay, then the next thing we have to do is trim off our edges. So we're just going to trim this. Try to keep it straight. I can't cut very straight, so I just do my best, right? All right, so that is the basic of it. That's like the base of all of it. And then what's going to happen is your Post-it notes are going to fit down in there, and we're going to do the covering piece. So really you don't need a large piece to cover that, but we're going to do that as well. So I'm going to use the green paper. That's the piece I forgot to cut. I was like, I needed to cut something else. All right, so we know it has to be 3 inches. So we're going to cut it at 3, and we have plenty. So we're going to do it on the short side of the paper. So we save paper. So 3 inches by, I think we're safe to do this by, let's say 4.5. So we'll cut this piece by 3 by 4.5 because we have to score this one as well. So this one we need to score at 3. At 3 and at 3 and 1, 2, 3. 3 and 3/8. Okay. And this is, like I said, this is just going to be and this paper folds really easily, so I don't really even have to burnish it at all. This we're just going to put over top of our Post-its, and we're going to put a little bit of tape on the back to hold it in place. Or you could use like double-sided adhesive. Let me see if I have my good adhesive. I do. So we're just going to put a little bit of adhesive right there, and we're going to put this in place. So we're going to make sure our edges are together, press down. And now this is going to sit right in here, and we can embellish the front. And then we're going to put the tie around it like we did with this. So that's the fun part. I like decorating these all differently. Now I do like to keep the Post-it inside when I decorate just because it gives me something more to like press on. So here's this. Okay. And I cut this purposely to have a 1/4 of an inch like all the way around frame, and the same for the back. This paper is so cute. If you guys are just like finding my channel. This paper is at Hobby Lobby. It's so cute. All right, so there's the back. Now, I do have the option of stamping something here. If you look at this one, I stamped thank you. And then on this one, I stamped thankful. So you can stamp these. Let me see, I pulled out one of my tiny stamp sets. And this one says you are loved. So let's do that. I mean, you could put, I also have a star here I could use. Like I have options. There's one that says hi. Maybe we could, let me see if we can do both. Both you are loved and let me make sure I'm putting this on the right way. And maybe a star as well. So I like to double check before I actually stamp. Now this is a very old stamp pad from Stampin' Up. Let me just make sure everything's, you are loved, yes. So this isn't it's not a really dark color, but I think it'll look nice with the gingerbread. So this is Crumb Cake. This was one of my favorite ink colors and papers from Stampin' Up. Oh, I kind of bounced on that, so it might be a little off, but that's okay. Okay, you are loved. Does that look... Okay, it really doesn't look great, but it's because it fell down first. I can fix that later. I'm not worried about that. But we can do a star on it as well. So let me pull out the star, and you could put the star beside the saying if you wanted. So we could take this off and we'll put the star beside it. And these stamps are from the Dollar Tree, so they're not the greatest quality, but they still work. I'm just going to put a little star right there. And I'm good with that. Put this away and the star away. So you can find really inexpensive stamps all over the place. Amazon has tons of inexpensive stamps that stamp really, really well. I've bought some and tried them, and I'm not displeased at all. Okay, so we have that there. Now we can put my ink away. I prefer these ink pads to the newer ones that they have out. I don't purchase from them anymore, but I do prefer these ones over the new ones. All right, so let's decide how we're going to decorate it. All right, I know that I definitely want to do the tie around, and I'll show you guys how to do that. I leave everything on the spool. I don't like to cut it off until it's completely done and ready to be trimmed. But you just got to keep it from like rolling off your table. All right, so all I do is I take the matching thread. Actually, I switched it around and put it in this hand. And then I just wrap it around, usually like 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I didn't give myself enough space. Let me try again. Let's do it this way with my other hand. So I'll hold this here and do 1, 2, 3, and then I'll bring it up here and tie it. So when I tie it, I'm gonna flip it back. I'm gonna pull it kind of close actually, because I want the tie off to the side. And then I try to use my Cricut tool to scoop this piece of like this section here and pull it under so that it's tying all of the pieces together, not just making a knot on top, if that makes sense. I'm picking up all of the pieces whenever I put my knot in. So there's that. Now I am going to turn it so that I can hopefully get my thread to stay down instead of, and this is basically, I think this is called baker's twine, I guess. So either it'll lay flat like that, and I'll make sure that it's going to hold my piece in. And then I just separate the threads a little bit so that it looks like there's little sections. So there's that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. There's that. And I feel like this one green piece is like invading the other side. Okay. So I just spread them out so that way they look like they're in little sections basically. So we have that, and I'm going to trim these off. And I'm not using my fabric scissors, which I usually do. I'm going to leave this one a little bit longer. And then I'm going to take the same threads together and we're going to make a multi fluffy bow is basically what it is. So that's where you wind it like this. And then you cut it off. So you just wrap it around your fingers. You cut it off. And then you poke it through your fingers this way. And then you come up through this last loop that you put on your finger. You pull it off and then you pull tight. And that gives you a really cute fluffy bow. Okay. And then you can separate all of your little fluffs like this. So either they look really fun. You got lots of layers here, like so. And then we can just glue it right here and then we'll cut off our ends. So we have this nice little fluffiness, and I'm going to be using, I think I'll use the tacky glue for the bow. So I've been using the Aleene's tacky glue. I'm not one to work with glue very much, but I used to only work with Tombow glue, and it always made such a mess. It made everything sticky, but I'm really enjoying this Aleene's glue. I don't receive any commission for this or anything. I just saw Richard Garay promote it, and I was like, I'll try it. If he likes it, I'll probably like it. And he was right. I do like it a lot. But I don't use it to make cards. I only use it for like 3D projects, because I think you can see glue whenever you use it on under like card layers. But when you're putting something on top of it, I think it's okay. All right, so now I'm going to trim these off. Like that. And now I want to put some cuteness to it. Let me clean this up. But I just think these are going to be such a cute gift to give to like people at the office, or like my daughter, like I said, she likes to do all this stuff. She like, what do you call those people that like stationery? Like we're kind of like stationery people that we love to go shopping for stationery and stickers and all of the things. So this would be a really cute gift for that. So then I found these stickers at Hobby Lobby, and I was trying to figure out which one would look the cutest with the right colors. I was thinking of this little gingerbread one because of the gingerbread man, but I think it's too dark. I think I'm going to go with this one. It has a little reindeer on it. And these are just stickers that are puffy, and they're like 3D. Oh, that's cute. And then of course, you know, I'm going to get out my, my sequins, because I just think sequins make everything better. I also had these I was thinking of maybe using, but I think they're going to be too big for this one. Maybe if I make a larger one for something, maybe that's what I'll use those ones for. But let me see what sequins I have. I may use green because of having my background in green. There is an unhappy dog outside. It sounds like a couple unhappy dogs. Okay, I think I'm going to do those three. I like to do them in threes. I don't think I want to use this green. Let me double check though. Yeah, no, I don't want to use that green. It will clash. Okay, so for the sequins, I'm going to use the clear gel tacky glue from Aleene's. Let me get my tweezers. And these are just so, so cute. So you'll have to let me know in the comments, what are your favorite gifts to either receive that's been handmade, either from family or office friends, and then what your favorite gift to give is. Because I was always a big like coffee giver, like coffee mugs. And I know people are like, you can only have so many coffee mugs. And I get that because I had to like really tailor down last year how many coffee mugs I had. But I loved giving coffee mugs because I thought they were a fun gift to give. Because you can get like so many different versions of coffee mugs for all of your friends. But I get that not everybody wants a coffee mug. Okay, there's that one. And then we have one more to put on. I actually could put this one up here if I wanted to, but let's do it. Let's just put one up here. And it doesn't take a lot of this glue, like for sure. It just takes a little bit because it is like a gel. It definitely gels up. And then we just put that one down right there. And if you wanted to stamp another image right across there, you absolutely could. Let me see what I have. I don't have a lot of stamps for Christmas. I was very shocked when I started going through everything and I was like, where are all of my stamps for Christmas? I don't have any. Do I have any wording that would work? Oh, let's see what I have here. Maybe one of these would work. I could put December 25th or Jolly. Let's do it. Let's put one of these stickers. Or there's candy canes. That's cute too. All right, let's see what sticker we want to put across there. Because we don't have to leave that blank. We can definitely decorate that. Merry Christmas is too big. But Jolly will fit. It'll just go below a little bit. Or we could do December 25th. Let's do December 25th. I think that's cute. So let's peel that off. And so I can get it hopefully straight, I'm going to use my tweezers here. I'm actually going to put it closer to the sequin. Right there. It says December 25th. Look how cute that is. That turned out adorable. I love this little cup down here. These cups are cute. Like if you can see how dimensional they are, they're so pretty. They would look really pretty on cards as well. But we have our nice fluffy bow. We have our little not so perfect stamped image, but that will be fine. We have this is basically what holds it inside without it falling. And then we have our little sequins. They look so cute. I love receiving like handmade gifts like this. So they're so sparkly. And then, like I said, we can make the larger one. If you guys want the sizes for the large one, let me see if I have those handy. I don't know that I do. They could be in my other folder. Because I have a folder for my members only. And I like to give them measurements and things like that are separate. But I will get this up. Well, if you're a member, you'll get to see this. It'll pull it up, what all the dimensions are and stuff. So here's our fall one. Here's our Christmas one we just made. And then here's the one I made for my daughter. And all you do is you pull the Post-it note out, and you can leave it like that. And then when you're not using the Post-it notes, you can slide them back in. That's all I did. So I just slid them back in and then fixed the thread, the baker's twine. Like that. Isn't it cute? Oh my goodness, I love it so much. I thought these were adorable, and I knew that they would make great gifts for teachers or office friends. If you have like a group of friends that all meet together, every mom needs Post-it notes. In my opinion, every single mom. If you do grocery shopping, you need Post-it notes. If you pay bills, you need Post-it notes just to have reminders, because life is busy and we forget sometimes, right? So those were super cute. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I obviously switched my Tuesday videos to Wednesday. It's just so much easier and less stress for me to get it up in time. And I'm always worried about you guys like waiting for me to upload and then not have it up on time. And you guys be like, where did it go? I get questions like, hey, did you upload? I missed it. And then I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. But yes, so I'm going to just start doing it on Wednesdays because it's so much easier that way. If you're not a member of my membership, what are you waiting for? It's so fun over there. We do Sunday lives. So we're going to start doing those on Facebook. And we also do a Friday members only video. And we do giveaways. We're just going to start giveaways over on the Facebook page. And how you become a member of that particular Facebook page is you ask to join, and then you give your sign-on name, like what your YouTube name is for the membership, and then I know to assign you on. So yeah, so that's all the fun stuff I have for you tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed like figuring out how to make these. And if you need anything from Creative Memories, just let me know. I'll have a link below. If you need anything from Hobby Lobby, run out. They have amazing sales right now on their Christmas things. And I went to Michael's. I did not find Christmas, but I found fall. So if you are a member, you saw me with my shopping haul that I shared with you guys, and that was super fun. And now I have a lot more fall paper to work with. I was actually impressed with Michael's selection this year of what they had. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.